Warning, there will be spoilers for the Acolyte episode 5 called Night. If you haven't seen it, please turn away and come back again once you have, because I'm going to talk about everything. Alright, let's get right to it. I'm going to reserve my opinion of this show until it has completed, because there are going to be twists and turns possibly that we can't foresee, and we don't know how the story is exactly going to play out. Yes, some of this episode was a little bit predictable, but I think there's something underlying that we're not seeing just yet, and we haven't seen any hints of it. Yeah, we have, but those are easily missed. So I'm going to give my good and bad of episode 5 of the Acolyte. Yes, there are a couple weak points in it, and I'm not afraid to point those out, but we'll get to that in just a moment. But I do want to say that, as I said just a moment ago, there are things that hint to something bigger than what we're being shown. It isn't as predictable as we would think, or is it? I don't know if I'm making a prediction on it. I guess it's predictable. I don't know. But here's my thought. Sith Lords don't look for acolytes, not if they're the master. Apprentice Sith Lords look for acolytes, just as Count Dooku did. Sith Lord Masters look for apprentices. There's a difference there. And one can say with good reason that Asajj Ventress was an assassin, not so much an acolyte. Well, she was never called an acolyte. But also, we could say that Darth Maul was an assassin and not really an apprentice. Yes, he was called an apprentice at one point, but he was more of an assassin, and we all know that. Because Darth Plagueis was still the master of Darth Sidious at the time that Darth Maul was Sidious's acolyte, apprentice, whatever you want to call him. Now, what was May being used for? An assassin. She was sent to kill these Jedi as an assassin. And this new guy, we don't have a Darth title for him yet. He did call himself a Sith, so I'm just going to call him Darth whatever until we get a name for him. But he is taking on an acolyte, and he said that. He didn't say he's taking on an apprentice. So that means that he is possibly not the Master Sith. There's someone else behind him. Yes. So it goes Sith Master, Sith Apprentice, and then Acolyte. So there's someone at the top. And I'm sticking with my guns and saying it's Mother Coral. I said that from the beginning, that she's the Sith Master. And why would I think that? Well, because even in this episode, Osha tells Yord that her mother could get in the minds of Jedi. She saw it happen. And we all saw it happen. It happened to Port Orban. And I'm going to move on from that because you all know how I feel about Mother Coral being the Sith Master. I've said it a couple times and I don't want to keep repeating it. Let's move on. So before this episode aired and before the show aired probably, Leslie Headland said that there's going to be a lightsaber fight that's even better than Duel of the Fates. Well, if this was it, I have to disagree with her. Not because it was a bad lightsaber fight, because it wasn't. It was actually really good. I got some real Game of Thrones feels out of this, nobody's safe and all that. Yeah, poor Jackie, man. Hate to see it. But the Sith, whatever his name is, was right. Soul brought her to a battleground. Deal with the consequences. And let me just say that this Sith, whatever his name is, Darth, whatever his name is, that he's actually a really good villain, and this guy's acting is amazing. I saw him in another show that I really like called The Good Place, and if you haven't watched it, go check it out. It's actually really funny and really good. He kind of plays an idiot. I liked his character. He was my favorite one. But anyways, let's get back to Star Wars, shall we? Yeah, so this wasn't as good as Duel of the Fates, but because they can't be compared. Duel of the Fates had something amazing in it. It had something we had not seen before. Multiple adversaries going against each other. 2 Jedi, 1 Sith. And during that entire fight, there was no dialogue. There was nothing. It was mysterious as to why Maul was even coming after the Jedi. I mean, in the background, we knew, he was supposed to flush out the Queen and all that stuff. And And, but we don't know why he wants revenge on the Jedi for things of the past. We didn't figure that out until way later, years later. But that fight was mysterious. Why is this guy here? Why is this guy attacking us? Where in the Acolyte, during this saber fight, there's some dialogue. Not much monologuing going on, but Darth, whatever his name is, he freaking nailed the landing. I mean, the guy just said, I want freedom. You guys hold all the cards and nobody else is allowed to practice the Force. And so what? I've embraced my darkness and you need to embrace yours too, because you're not such a clean fellow there, soul. So yeah, this fight was a lot different than Duel of the Fates. I'm not going to compare those. I'm not going to compare it with the end of Revenge of the Sith with Obi-Wan and Anakin's fight. It's apples and oranges. You can't really compare them. And I know a lot of people like to compare things in Star Wars and say what's better and what's this and what's that. And that's fine. Do that if that's your favorite thing. If, Duel of the Fates is your favorite thing, or, the fight at the end of Revenge of the Sith is your favorite thing. Cool. I love those fights too. But you have to break it down differently. This was more of a martial arts fight or MMA fight. And there are a lot of different martial arts being used in here. I saw some Aikido, some Tai Chi, some Taekwondo, and a lot of MMA where they mix different things up, which is MMA, mixed martial arts. Yeah. So, yeah, that's one good aspect of it. This fight was good. I thought this episode, was better than the previous 4. And I'm not knocking those because, like I said, I'm not giving my opinion on the entire series until it finishes. But I do want to go on with this new Sith Lord, Darth whatever his name is, because how's Ki-Adi-Mundi going to feel about this? Is he even going to hear about it? Maybe not. I mean, we've already seen that Sol and some of the other Jedi were able to hold on to some secrets to Ventura or Vernestra, that's her name, to Vernestra way back when. So not everything gets reported to this lower council. So Ki-Adi-Mundi could be in the dark, and he could go onto the high council and say, yeah, we haven't seen a Sith in 1,000 generations or 1,000 years. So, yeah, there's some plausibility there. But what if he does find out? How's he going to cover his tracks? All right, on to the Darth whatever his name is. I like this guy. I really like this guy. I thought, this is one of the coolest villains we've seen in a long time. Not just Star Wars, but period. I mean, Thanos was pretty cool, but this guy, he's just got this air about him. I don't even know how to explain it. It's just, oh man, it's crazy. I don't know. We'll have to see how the rest of the show plays out and see how his role plays out, because like I said, he's just an apprentice. There's somebody bigger behind him. But I'd like to know what you guys think about this episode. And before you go, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like the video, leave a comment down below. And if you think the show's trash, I only need really one person to say that. I don't need 1 million people to say it, because I'm not going to read all those. Now, if you have some real legitimate criticisms other than the show is trash, then go ahead and put that down there too. I do respect everybody's opinions, and I don't fault anybody for their opinions, because we're all individuals. We all have our opinions. I'm not telling you have to like this show. I'm not telling you even have to watch it. I'm just here to talk about Star Wars. I'm a Star Wars channel. Heaven forbid I talk about Star Wars and things that happen in Star Wars. Yeah, I know. Seems weird, right? Anyways, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, like the video, and leave a comment down below. Until the next time, this is Gerald, a Star Wars fanatic, signing off, wishing you all great health, happiness, and peace. Thank you all for watching, and remember, this is the way.